Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening. Basically, this is going to be a short 1 hour webinar. It's not those typical internet marketing webinars where it's going to be 90 minutes long or 2 hours long, and at the end of the day, you probably get an offer. So if you're hoping for some offer at the end of this session, I'm here to disappoint you that this is not one of those sessions. Today's session was actually organized for the community of Youth Up. And Youth Up is actually a movement that was founded in Nigeria, right? So it's a movement that's started for most of you or some of you who are in Singapore, just like me, or Indonesia, Malaysia, or in Southeast Asia, or Philippines. Well, the movement was actually started in Nigeria. So by this founder or co-founder called Faith. And this group itself is a very enterprising group because it represents the business wing of Youth Up, and the mission is to empower and enrich youths all around the world globally to be entrepreneurs, to contribute to society, to be more than who they can be. So basically, this is actually a pioneer session to share a simple topic on mindset transformation. And a little bit of my journey in my last 10 over years as an entrepreneur, or how I switched my mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And you realize that, in this thing about being an employee and entrepreneur, there are a lot of common traits that can be seen, can be observed. And if you use these two traits and characters well, and you synergize these two, you're going to be actually a really influential asset in your company. Whether you are today, you're holding a corporate job, whether you are an employee, whether you are thinking of being an entrepreneur, whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur, whether you are currently a business owner, you will stand to benefit from this session. So I would like to thank you all for your time today. So if you are taking this 1 hour to join in this session, I would urge you to stay until the end, because anyway, it's just 1 hour and the number of slides I have is not more than 15. So this little session that I put together, first and foremost, is to remind everyone that, an entrepreneur's journey starts with the mindset. And today, the fact that you are taking 1 hour of your time, and today, trust me, the thing about entrepreneurs is time is money. The essence of money is essentially very correlated to time. How much an entrepreneur can contribute his or her time is basically the biggest asset that they can give to anyone out there. So if today you're understanding and taking notes, right? Take down notes, write down that number one, your time as an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur to be is going to be your most important, valuable asset that you can give. All right, so now, before we begin, one last technical checks to do. Well, if some of you are joining in from your mobile phones, I would urge you, if you can, to switch to laptop or desktop so that you can enjoy this session and take down notes. If you are not able to switch to a desktop or laptop, well, then just focus on your mobile phone and get ready to see what is going to be unfolding after this. So I'd like to start off with a little story. And the story is a story of me 15 years ago. And I was, not exactly 15 years ago, if not, I'll be revealing my age. So, when I was coming to my 19th birthday, I was just finishing my national service. So for those of you, of course, in Singapore, you understand that we have 2 years of national service to go, of our army, the army to serve. And I was just finishing up my 2 years. And I joined a direct selling company at that point in time, selling beauty supplements and beauty and health supplements. I did not know what I was doing in that company. All I know was I joined my friend who dragged me into that company, who said, "Shawn, do you want to learn how to do business? If yes, then this is the company you join." So that was how I joined that company, selling those products. And I have to admit that I was not someone that was keen on sales. I did not like sales. I have not done sales before. So that was something that was really new to me. And the point I'm trying to drive across is, so I as some of you who are in direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, you will know this, right? I called every person in my phone book, my family, my relatives, my friends, whoever I could find on Facebook at that point in time. I called until, you know, I had enough of courage left in me. I called until I was rejected over and over and over again. So I recall one night where I was sitting under the ground floor of my basement, and I was there sitting on a bench, just crying, you know, crying. I was crying because I was broken, I was dejected, I was I was basically not, you know, I can swear that I wanted to tell myself that I'm not going to do business anymore, and I'm not going to pursue sales or entrepreneurship or nothing. Okay, so at that point in time, I had two options. One, I stop what I was doing and I go to college 6 months later, or university. Number two, I continue what I'm doing. I go home, wipe my tears, sleep it off, replan, and start again. Right? I had only two options. So of course, the rest is history, and now you see where I have come today. So the first lesson for today that we need to understand was that I learned at that point in time was I had to understand that I had to accept failure as the first lesson in entrepreneurship. And if I cannot come to terms with myself of accepting failure and embracing failure, then entrepreneurship is not my journey. So it was the toughest decision that I had to make, because our schools did not teach us this. Our education system did not prep us for this. They did not teach us that you need to fail to win in life, right? We weren't taught this in school. So that was my number one lesson that I had to learn at the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur. And at the same time, I had to do a lot of reframing. As Nelson Mandela says, I never lose. I either win or I learn. So the one thing that I had to do was I had to reframe my thinking of failures equals experiences. So the number two lesson that I have for you today is failure equals experiences. And if I can switch this thinking of every failure that I learn from into a new experience that I can contribute of value or share, like today's session, if you're listening for the first time and you're an entrepreneur to be, or you're thinking of taking that step out of your company to be an entrepreneur, or you're thinking of doing that side hustle right now, I say start now. You know, start now, experience as much failure as you can, and learn from them. So this was the number one framing that I had to do. And of course, life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward. So I had to accept the second lesson that I had to know, which was entrepreneurship is a journey. Entrepreneurship is not a sprint. It is not something that you look at short-term goals. You know, I want to make that, you know, $10,000, that $100,000, that $1 million. Yes, of course, this comes as a result of the journey. By the end of the day, the entrepreneurship game, the mindset that we have to understand is it is a journey. It's like looking at looking at our life 30 years from now. So I want to continue from that story that I ended off where I was dejected. I was broken. You know, it was the first year I was experiencing doing a direct selling business. Yes, it wasn't a business of my own. It wasn't my own personal venture, but it still was something that I took out of my comfort zone to try as a side hustle, to try to see whether I could achieve something. So the mindset that I had at that point in time was, well, I had nothing to lose, right? So when I had nothing to lose, I just told myself, let's try, let's do something else again. So that was when I began pushing a little bit more. Now, I want to take you to a story back before that time when I joined direct sales. And you know, it was the days where I was still very actively in competitive sports. So in my national service, let me share with you this story, because I was part of the running marathon team. I was part of the half marathon team of my national service army division that had to run the 21 kilometers run. I'm sure that all of you men who are from Singapore would have experienced this half marathon race that we have to go through as an entire army division every year somewhere in August. But I think because of this COVID season, we are probably not going to have it this year. So when I was 18 years old, and I was in that competitive team. So I was coached by one of Singapore's top marathon coaches. I still remember him really well, Ilan Govan. And he used to really push us, because one of the things that we had to do to qualify for the competitive team was to make sure that our time trial for a 21-kilometer marathon, a half marathon, was below 1 hour 40 minutes. Okay, so at that point in time, when I remember doing that time trial as a first timer, I know my timing was like 2 hours long. I don't even know why they selected me to be in a competitive team. Probably they saw potential that I could be groomed, trained to go under 1 hour 40 minutes. So the point I'm now going to share with you is, when I was halfway through that 3-month training to get my timing down to 1 hour 40 minutes, I was actually being pushed day after day, running. And I recall one particular training, right? It was a training where we had a time trial. So every 1 or 2 weeks, we will have time trials. And I so recall this training because we went to this hill in Singapore. Is this place called Bukit Timah Hill. And we were told that, okay, today's your time trial. You're going to run 5 kilometers. And you have to run 5 kilometers under 20 minutes. So I was like, okay, so me and my teammates, there were like 18 of us, we were basically like gearing up to run the 5 kilometers in 20 minutes or less. And of course, at that point in time, being confident after training for a couple of weeks, I was like, oh, no problem. I'm going to do this in 17 or 18 minutes, right? And we burst that race, that 5 kilometer time trial. And after coming back, and we were like, I saw my time, I came in at 17 minutes, 17.3 minutes. I was like, woohoo! I was like so excited. I was like, okay, I'm definitely, game for more. And then I was panting and everything. And our coach, when he saw everyone come back below 20 minutes, say, all right, every one of you, rest for 5 minutes. You're going for your second time trial of 5 kilometers. And I want all of you to make sure that your timing is below 20 minutes again. I was like, wait, what? Like, what? I just gave my all in the last 5 kilometer time trial. You're telling me to go one more round of 5 kilometers below 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, that was when, this thing about pushing and enduring what your mind cannot foresee you doing. It's like mind over body, You'll never imagine that at that point in time, we could do it for another 3 more laps and 3 more laps of 5 kilometers. So in total, we did 20 kilometers, right? Broken down in 4 sets of 5 kilometers, all of which below 20 minutes. Yes, it was an achievement, but it was something that taught me a really valuable lesson. And why am I sharing that story and relating it to entrepreneurship is this: the fact that we never know how much we can achieve in the long run, right? We should not be underestimating what we can do, right? Then, and look at now and say that, hey, because we are only, this much, we only have this amount of skill set, we only have this amount of experiences, we only have this amount of network, we maybe do not have capital, and this is what's stopping you from doing business. Because the point of, entrepreneurship is not about having all these resources before you. The point of entrepreneurship is, how can you be resourceful when times push you to shove, right? Like at this point in time, I mean, another very important, another really relevant story would be currently the crisis that we're experiencing all around the world. The fact that, we have probably, some of us have been experiencing how we should go into digital world. So for some of us who've been living in a very manual, traditional labor world where we're hardly online, or we're only online to check out other people's news feed and, Insta stories and all this. The thing is that we never probably grasp the idea that we can convert our businesses online and run our businesses online. But hey, look at what COVID did to us. It has transformed us to be able to suddenly overnight switch to conducting and delivering our business online, right? So our mind is so powerful that if you look at it that way, it's all about pushing it further and further and further. So lesson number 3 in entrepreneurship is that never underestimate the long term for the short term, right? Now, another one of my mentors when I first started off, in the direct sales company was this: the fact that I was given a chance, right? So in that 1 year, I actually was recommended a book, and that book was this book by Robert Kiyosaki, and he was basically my mentor back then in that company. Gave me this book called The Business School. So that was the very first book, and I was not a fan of books. In fact, I hate books. The only books that I completed before that book, this Robert Kiyosaki's book, was Harry Potter, right? Other than Harry Potter, I'm sure, I did not finish any other book that I can remember. So the thing was, after reading that Business School, I mean, in a few pages in, I was sucked in, and I basically finished the entire book within that 1 day. And after the Business School, I was like, wow, who is this author? Who is this person? Why is he so knowledgeable? So from the Business School, I started reading the Cash Flow Quadrant. I started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So these 3 were my initial 3 books that I read in the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. So boy, it really, really opened up my mind to think that at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, we have big dreams. If you are today, how you know if you're going to be an aspiring entrepreneur is, sometimes you think of doing more than what you're currently doing. So if you're currently in a job, you might be thinking, I think I'm capable of more than this. I think I want to do something else. Or you may have a passion, a burning passion in your heart that you want to do something else, and there's something called your calling, right? So that's how you know that, okay, you're meant to do something big, right? But as we all know, even big dreamers, even Mark Zuckerberg, even all the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, or even every one of them starts small. Everyone starts probably in their bedroom, in their I don't know, in their house, in their backyard, in their basement. Everyone starts somewhere, right? And therefore, there was another lesson that I learned, that it's taking baby steps and not trying to make that jump forward. So at that point in time, it was just about visualization. So let me share with you another little thing about mindset. Our mind can be so powerful that you can actually visualize something before it actually happens. And if you think about it so hard and so much, with all your emotions, with all your desire, with all your heart, right, you will probably get there. And why I share with you this, because at that point in time, I remember something. A little entrepreneur, or a little boy's dream was at the age of 21 years old. I remember this. I remember wanting a birthday present at the age of 21 because I just got my driving license, and I did not want to be, driving a rented car, or I did not want to be driving my dad's car. So I decided, no, with my direct selling opportunity, with my business opportunity that I have on hand, I wanted to drive my own red color, flashy sports car. Yes, I was this very flamboyant, young, hot-headed, proud individual at the age of 20, 21 years old. And that was when I was basically, having this dream. I want to drive this red sports car and drive down the road. In Singapore, it's the Orchard Road. Just wanted to drive down that stretch and wave to everybody. So that was my crazy, wild dream as an entrepreneur. But hey, that one little visualization of that red sports car that I wanted at that point in time, I was basically manifesting it as an entrepreneur. Little did I know, 2 years later, right, when I was 21, this was the very first car that I bought. Yes, that's me. I mean, if some of you are looking at that photo and thinking, you sure that's Shawn? You sure that's you? Yes, that's me. I mean, I think I look younger now, but that was me at the age of 21 years old. So, if you're in the Zoom call, you want to comment, yes, look good, give me a thumbs up. That'll be great. So this was actually me. And in fact, this this photo can be found on my Facebook. And at the same time, I think that was my first achievement as an entrepreneur. And as I told you before, it's just recently, it's not about thinking of the end goal of I want to earn that $10,000 or $1 million, or I want to have this BMW that I want to buy. No, it's not about all this. It was about the journey. It was about learning how to get past different step by step of the way. So this is the power of visualization that I just wanted to share with everyone about. And in fact, it is something that I practice always up to today. Before I even want to achieve something, I write it down. And I find as many pictures on the internet as much as possible. I find photos, I find whatever. I put up what we call a vision board, right? So some of you who probably have already in business, or you may have heard this somewhere, you would probably have heard people or your mentors telling you, get a vision board, do up a vision board, right? And you might be wondering, what is a vision board? Right? This is what we call a vision board, right? Take your photos of what you want to achieve 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and put it in your vision board and look at it every single day, right? So most of us now, all of us now have mobile phones. Put them as your screensaver. Put them as your display screen, your laptops, your desktops. Put them as your background. Look at your dreams every single day, because when you look at them every single day, you'll be reminded, right, how much you want them, how badly you want them. And even though you may have gone through all the failures, or you're currently going through failures, challenges, and whatever obstacles, looking at those dreams will just, at the end of the day, motivate you to say, hey, wipe those tears, go to sleep, and start again tomorrow, because tomorrow will be a brand new day. So that was the lesson that I learned, and that was when I was just 21 years old. That was my first 2 years in entrepreneurship. Right. So fast forward to many years down the road, and trying different businesses. I mean, after 5 years of that direct selling business, I moved on into venturing into my own beauty company. So I set up operations. I even have someone on the chat today who used to be my business partner in the Philippines, in Carlo. And of course, I experienced going overseas to Malaysia. I experienced going overseas to China. I experienced all these hands-on of how to deal with suppliers, how to deal with business partners, how to deal with resellers, and all these kind of things. Moving on from beauty company, I moved into a car valet company. I don't know what I was doing in there. I moved on into a club business. I moved on into IT business, e-commerce. I moved into your software business. I moved on to training. So at some point in time, 10 years on from this initial journey, I actually looked into turning my passion of giving back to the community and into people development. So into helping others achieve their dreams too, helping others become an entrepreneur, helping others go through the roadblocks that I went through, and helping them shorten the problems and obstacles that they will go through, hopefully with my experiences. And eventually, just all this. So I became a trainer, I became a facilitator, I became a coach to many, many more entrepreneurs, startups, as well as salespeople, sales professionals. Now, so one of my mentors lately, he's been my mentor online all this while, is Jack Ma. So most of us would know our Alibaba founder, Jack Ma, and he has this little advice. So I like to steal a little bit of advice from him and share with everyone today, right? His advice. Now, at the age of 20 years old, below 20, if you're below 20 and you're on this webinar right now, then I should say just continue being a good student, right? But when you're 20 years old, follow a good boss, right? Join a small company, join a startup, join a business with just a founder, co-founder, because this is where you want to learn. This is where you're given the opportunity to try anything. You can do sales, you can do finance, you can do admin, you can do marketing, you can do operations, you can do whatever you want to. I believe, and I bet you hands down, that if you join a small company with a good co-founding team, they will give you opportunities to try this. And if you are already running your own business, your own small business, then give more opportunities to others, right? And this is where you learn the ropes, connect with other entrepreneurs in other communities, connect with other entrepreneurs, small business owners in different industries, different niche, different countries, because you will learn a lot, right? Just being a frog in your own well would be, is as good as dead, So then, of course, looking at age 30 to 40, work for yourself. So this is when Jack Ma advised, if you have not come out to start your own business yet, then it's time for you to come out and start your own business. So work for yourself. Then 40 to 50, focus on the things you're good at. 50, 60, work for or invest in young people. So then this is where you give back. You give back and you push and the younger generation to come up, right? And probably this is what I'm doing a little bit at this moment. I'm doing a little bit of that number, what I was supposed to do at 50 years old. So this is Jack Ma's version, right? Let me share with you my version. So after I've digested Jack Ma's version, I came up with my own version of what you should be doing at whatever stage of your life right now. As long as you can be an entrepreneur, you can be an employee, it does not matter. So this is my version, sorry. So no matter what age you are now, and I'm saying this because I do not want to discriminate anyone, right? Even though, yes, this is for youth up, but as long as you consider yourself a youth at heart, then, this is for you. So start doing this at whatever age you are right now, at whatever situation, start something, start somewhere. That's number one. Look into your passion. If you don't know, Shawn, where do I start at? I do have no product, I have no capital, I got no network, I got no idea. So what do you do? Start with something you are passionate in. Reason is because when you start facing failures, roadblocks, challenges, your passion is what's going to keep you going through. So that's number one, start something, start somewhere. Number two, face as many failures as you can. As what I've shared before, the first lesson that I learned as an entrepreneur is to accept my failures as learning experiences. So fail as many times as you can, as fast as you can. Fail many, fail fast. Number three, reframe your mindset from failures to experiences. Number four, start thinking of entrepreneurship as a journey rather than a short-term goal. Looking at my marathon story and my experience on how I was pushed by my coach to run that marathon, I was always taught to focus on the end goal. So number five, start small, dream big. Yes, now that you want to start, you know that you're in for the long term. The idea is you don't have to overwhelm yourself with, I need to, become $1 million company, in 1 year's time. I need to become $1 billion company in 5 years' time. No, don't scare yourself. Don't put obstacles in front of yourselves. Start small, but dream big. And last but not least, use the power of visualization. Create that dream board, that dream vision board of yours. Make sure you look at it every single day. Make sure you remind yourself. Make sure you are putting it on your laptops, your desktops, your phones, anything that you can get your hands on. That will help you get started. So fast forward to today, right? This is actually something that I have visualized 2 years ago. So this photo was of me in Manila in 2018. And in fact, it was a time where I was there for an internet marketing seminar where I was learning how to do sales funnels. I was learning from Peng Joon, for some of you who know him. I was learning about copywriting. I was learning about internet marketing. I was learning about anything online and how to drive my passion into online business. So basically, I had visualized this scene and I actually took a photo of me working on my laptop just so that I remember that this is the moment that I start to go online, because I had visualized that something like this would happen in the future. And who knows? Look at today, 2 years down the road, things are already like this. I think everyone is probably like in my position right now, probably not as nice a view as I had, but you are probably in this position working from your very own home right at this moment. So the things that I visualized that would happen was social selling, right? Salespeople would not be traditional salespeople at road shows, cold calling anymore. I visualize sales to move online into LinkedIn, into Facebook, into Instagram, into anything online, YouTube. I visualize internet marketing would become a big thing. I also visualize that if I need to learn new skill sets as an entrepreneur, I need to learn digital skill sets. And of course, the last but not least is webinars. If I'm not comfortable in front of a camera, then get comfortable in front of a camera. So as I was sharing with you these few things, I think one of the biggest takeaways for me, 2 years ago and now, would be the fact that I used to not ever be comfortable in front of a screen doing live webinars like this. Yes, I may be fine, comfortable on stage, on a live stage, live event, doing a talk to like hundreds of people, even 1,000 audience at one point in time. I still remember I could be comfortable on stage, or maybe I correct myself. I was nervous, of course, but I could contain my nerves, and I could be comfortable on stage after some point in time. But for the very fact of going on webinar, it's a very different story. The webinar is that as I'm speaking, right? If you have done webinars before, you'll know this. As you are speaking, you're imagining there's an audience, because the fact that you can't hear your audience, you can't see everyone unless the screen, you show screen. But other than that, you cannot hear anything. It's like you're speaking to yourself. So I used to be thinking to myself, how do I even do such things? And I have a phobia of cameras. So I'm really camera shy. If you look at some of my social media profiles, I don't really like taking my own pictures so much. And it's usually other people taking my photos and then tagging me, and then the photos appear in my social media. So anyway, one of the most important things that I'm trying to make over here is this. If you're not comfortable doing something, it's good, right? This is where you tell yourself, get out of your comfort zone. So I know I didn't list it here, but the point here that I'm trying to show you as an entrepreneur is to get out of your comfort zone. You have to push yourself, constantly getting yourself uncomfortable. I think it was Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Airlines, that said this, where whenever he feels that he's getting comfortable, he would tell himself to get himself uncomfortable again. Because once he gets himself uncomfortable again, he would be very prone to learning new things, failing, and getting up on his feet very fast again. So this is where I learned how to get out of my comfort zone. Now, I'm going to share with you one last story, right? This webinar is supposed to be 1 hour long, and I just wanted to keep this sharing of mine to 45 minutes so that I can look at the chat after this, so that if there are some of your questions that you might pose, I can answer them. So I'm going to share with you one more little story of mine that happened to me when I was running one of my businesses, and it was my training company I was running in 2017. So in 2017, I was running my training company in Singapore and Malaysia, and I recall setting up a small office in the heart of town. I set up this small, I think it was 1,000 square feet office, and I had a desk that, of course, I had an office to myself, and I had a desk that I would love so much. Not because I spent a bomb on it. In fact, to date, it was my cheapest office renovation that I've ever did. Cheapest, trust me. But the reason why I love that office so much was this. Every day I would go into the office at 8:30 a.m. in the morning before my team would come in at around 9 a.m. And I would, come in and start with having a bit of my breakfast and checking my emails and planning for the day. And when my team start coming in, they'll say, "Hi, Shawn, good morning, morning, boss, morning." I'm like, "Okay, good morning," and I'm like, "Okay." So whenever is the daytime, I would be occupied with team meetings, tasks, clients, and all these kind of operational things. I bet if today you're an entrepreneur, you're also going to be facing these problems, and you're operating in your business, you're operating from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or whatever time you're operating in, you would feel that you're always maybe occupied with operational things. So one of the things that I look forward to every single day was the 6 p.m. timing. So I call this the 6 p.m. story. And every day I look forward to 6 p.m. only for one reason. That one reason is so that all my employees, all my staff, all my team can finally go home so that I can work on my tasks, on my stuff, on what I have to do as an entrepreneur. And I was like, at 6 p.m. when I waved bye to everybody or whoever that was left in the office, and usually I end up, chasing whoever out of the office saying, don't stay past 6 p.m. And I do that, and I realize I do that not because I think of them staying up late and working overtime, but I'm thinking because I need my own time. I need the office to work. And it was very strange, And I want to share with you, this is the biggest mindset transformation of employee to entrepreneur. And it's something that if today you're in a corporate job, and if you look at this lesson that I'm going to share with you, you would understand the biggest difference between you being a performing employee or just an average employee as well. I look at 6 p.m. as the start of my work day. I don't look at 6 p.m. as the end of my work day. As an employee, today, I'm constantly looking at the time in the office or the time at home now. If you're an employee, think about it. You will be looking at the time 6 p.m. When is the time coming to 6 p.m. so that I can log off work, so that I can go home to my family, have dinner, I can go out, enjoy with my friends, I can go out and party, I can go out, well, we can't do that now, but you can, as an employee, what I'm trying to say is this: the mindset of looking at 6 p.m. every single day and an entrepreneur looking at the timing of 6 p.m. every single day is very, very different. Because an entrepreneur starts thinking that 6 p.m. starts our day. And it was my biggest takeaway, because for that 1 year that I was in that small little office, I constantly, at 6 p.m., I can tell you this, I'll go buy my dinner, I'll tap out, I'll take away that dinner, come back to my little office, have my dinner, and at 7 p.m. sharp, I will start work on what I need to do all the way until midnight. And I do this willingly and with so much passion, because I find that that's the best amount of time that I can get my most productive hours. Now, maybe some of you may not agree with me. Maybe you would have your own time management of having your employees during your 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. time work on their own so that you can work on your things. But I came to recall that an entrepreneur doesn't work 8 hours a day. Entrepreneur works 10 hours, 12 hours. Heck, now I think entrepreneurs are working 16 hours a day minimum. I know many startup owners, startup founders, co-founders that tell me, Shawn, I minimally work 16 hours a day. And this is the biggest difference. I mean, I'm not saying that to be an entrepreneur, I'm not going to scare you and say that you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to work 16-hour days. You have to double up your working hours every single day. No. But I'm trying to share with you something else. I'm trying to share with you the mindset of looking at how you spend your day after your 6 p.m. If today you're still an employee, it's okay that you look at 6 p.m. and you want to log off work. You may want to take 2 hours to go freshen up, go relax, go for an exercise, go and have your dinner. You may want to take that 2 hours to do all those. But why not take another 2 hours at night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Go learn something online. Learn your passion, learn your skill. Take up something that will going to increase your skill sets and will help you increase your experience, your knowledge for the future. And this is the takeaway that I hope all of you get from this mindset transformation that I have. So anyway, I've come to the end of my little sharing. As I've shared with you that this is really a very short sharing. It's something that I am doing because I like to give back to the community. And as I've pasted the banner of this community here, Youth Up, I have been very humbled to be invited to be a part of this movement. And if you'd like to be a part of this movement, just join, just join the LinkedIn website, the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the Instagram, just join this movement. You'll get resources, tips, sharings, articles, whatever, from the community that's involved. And one of the things that I do, even though today I'm part of a global national company in learning and development, is that I constantly apply my entrepreneurial mindset in my job, in the employment that I am. So I have both, I have both sides of how I operate. But the point is, it's all about having a mindset shift to how you can perform in today's world and how you can thrive instead of just survive. So I'm just going to take a look at the chat group now to see if there are any questions or if there are anything that I need to answer. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat, and let me see if I can answer them for you. Aha. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Yep. Awesome stuff. Great. All right. Yes. Robert Kiyosaki, of course. Yes. Okay. So anyway, no worries. Even if you have no questions now, what you can do is add me on LinkedIn, add me on my social media. I'm open. Join the Telegram group of Youth Up. Make sure that you are inside because you want to be receiving anything that's related to entrepreneurship. This is the business wing, by the way. If you are able to share anything that you've learned, one key takeaway, that will be also awesome, so that we can share with the rest of the community. If you're also an entrepreneur yourself, or you had your own entrepreneurship journey, you like to contribute your sharing, you like to contribute your experience, you like to contribute yourself in this movement, I highly urge you to just say yes. Just let me know in the chat. Faith is probably, yes, thank you, Faith. He just put the web link of the chat group. I think most of you should be inside because that's how you found this Zoom link. And by joining this Telegram group, share it with your entrepreneur friends as well. Share it with as many business owners, entrepreneurs, or even aspiring entrepreneurs who want to be a part of this movement or who want to learn something and get to where, get to somewhere today. So this is a non-profit, it's a very simple association that we want to forge a global movement to empower and enrich more youths around the world. All right, so are there still any more questions that I have? Today was really impromptu. I can share with you something really impromptu right now as well, since I have about 10 minutes left of my time. Yeah, so this is impromptu. So I want to share with you that this webinar was only planned yesterday. To do this live webinar, it did not take me 1 week to plan. In fact, Faith told me this probably a couple of days ago, right, Faith? So he told me, he invited me to do a session on mindset transformation about 3 days ago. And I was wondering, okay, a session, I was just imagining how should I be sharing this session? Should I be sharing this session on in social media? Should I just be sharing some slides? Should I just be sharing over some chat? Or should I do a video? And it was only yesterday that I suggested to Faith that, hey, why not just turn this into a webinar? Just create a live webinar and blast it out so that it can be recorded. It could be something that can be reached out to more people. It could be something that more people could relate better, because sometimes I feel videos relate better compared to just slides or chat groups. And yeah, so this was created in just less than a day. And if any of you today who are thinking of doing webinars, who are thinking of going online and becoming a social media producer, becoming a digital marketer, anything digital, know that you can do it just if you take action. Know that you can just go online, type in Google, YouTube, how to be a YouTube superstar, how to make money online, how to do social selling, basically can Google all this, you can YouTube all this. It's not something that we can use webinars to teach. I mean, we can, but it will be a waste of time. It will be a waste of your time. the most important thing today is to share about the mindset that every one of you should have to transform yourself from an employee into an entrepreneur. Or if you're already an entrepreneur, how you transform yourself to be a better entrepreneur, how you transform to be a performing entrepreneur, how do you be like all those successful entrepreneurs out there. So again, this is a really impromptu sharing. It's not something that was planned one week ago. It is something that can be done, and if I can do it, I think any one of you can. So that's from me. And if I have no more further questions, and if you think that this session was good, maybe you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat, or you can give me a link, or you can even put in my LinkedIn profile. If you are having me on LinkedIn, Instagram, social media, Facebook, whatever, just say hi. Give me a recommendation if you like to. Just say bravo, and that's good enough. So for me, my mission here is to push the word out of being empowered and enriched and being able to do your own things, your own passion, convert it to becoming income for you, and hopefully you are able to move ahead in this new normal of going online and doing digital businesses. Oh yes, and I see Faith putting up the website for our Youth Up. It's youthupglobal.com. So join the movement. Go to the website. Contribute what you want to contribute as well. Let me know, especially as I know some of you on this chat. I really do appreciate the support that all of you have just by taking the 1 hour out to come online. I know it's again night time for those of us who are in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Southeast Asia basically, or Asia. And of course in Nigeria or the other part of the world, it's 12 noon, it's your lunch hour. I know some of you are working and you're probably taking out some time to be here. So I want to thank you all for really being here and present during this 1 hour. So thank you for staying all the way till the end. This is the end. And I really like to see more of this in the future. Yep, who knows? I see Eugene, thanks, you're from Malaysia. And I see that, you finally managed to see me live in a webinar. That's true, it's very true. I think Eugene has been waiting for me for a good, 1 year. So thank you, Eugene. And Indra, Andrew, thank you for this time together. I really want to see all of you again soon after this. I hope the situation dies down soon after our phase 1 of lockdown circuit breaker is over. Let's catch up soon. Even if we cannot catch up physically, let's catch up over virtual coffees. Although I did share on my LinkedIn recently that there's too much Zoom meetings every day, but I'm still good to have virtual coffees. I'm still good to have calls with any one of you. All right, so thank you so much again, and see you all in my social media, and go to the Telegram group and check out the Youth Up Business Wing. All right, bye for now.